New Zealand has a secret weapon. New Zealand definitely has a secret weapon, and g'day, I'm Ash, and welcome back to the channel. As part of my own personal development, or necessarily my own national history, I'm very proud of New Zealand. I'm a dual citizen of Australia and New Zealand, and I just love both countries to death. And a part of that wanted me to chat about this wonderful, the Semple tractor tank, also known as the Bob Semple. A few tanks of its type have, achieved the level of notoriety and even such meme-worthy status as that of the Bob Semple, and it's quite an odd and unusual-looking vehicle that, at first glance, gives what you would see as, I don't know, a very adorning appearance, even though it is very eccentric. The main purpose of the vehicle was met and was for a need of genuine merits, that being a threat of genuine invasion by the Japanese. That's when we get to our colourful character, Mr. Robert Semple. He was Ministry for Public Works in 1935 when his political party, the Labour Party, returned to power. And he was quoted as saying, "If this country is going to be invaded, we need to have equipment as good as that of the other fellow, if not better. We could not buy tanks from the outside, but had to act on our own resources. Luckily, we had big tractors here. They have provided one of the greatest boons in the country has ever known, permitting us to build highways, aerodromes, camps, and fortifications in record time in the Dominion. They have proved invaluable for other urgent purposes outside New Zealand." And that's when you really get a legend that is born. New Zealand was already facing a potential invasion with no effective armed force. Semple found out that the New Zealand Defence Department had been making inquiries in the USA for supplies of armour plate. However, Bob Semple had already seen a photograph of a Caterpillar tractor which had been converted in the United States. It is possible that this refers to a distant tank, which is basically an emergency vehicle based upon a D9 tractor chassis. Essentially, it was a simplistic armoured superstructure with a turret, a modest armament of a .30 caliber machine gun, and, some cheap add-on armour. However, with limiting time, they decided to get to work right away, as it was going to take some time to obtain the blueprints of the American tractor tank conversion. But rather than squander time, they began work on it right then and there. This was taken to the Public Works Department, and it was proposed that at Temuka, that their fleet of 81 D8 Caterpillar tractors be built armoured bodies for them, and that way they could be converted to a mobile defence / vehicle that was suited for New Zealand defence. However, the New Zealand Army declined to really work with the project, as it didn't have a 37mm tank gun mounted in a turret. Instead, the additional turret machine gun brought the total armament to a total of 6 Bren .303 caliber machine guns, 1 on each side, 1 on the back, 1 in the turret, and 2 mounted forwards in the hull. Additionally, the bulk of the body meant it rolled badly during off-road movement, making fire and very precise, accurate machine gun fire very difficult on the move. However, the army was still frustrated with the lack of a turret-mounted cannon, with no other options, relented to have 3 examples constructed as they were. But the Bob Semple was hoping that this vehicle would raise Kiwi morale. However, in order to change gear, the vehicle needed to come to a complete standstill, and as a result, the public display and public tests of the vehicle did not really go too well. The tank is paraded around New Zealand, but Mr. Semple's dream of a fleet of them is never realised. The army rejects the design as too heavy and too slow. Semple's tank is a novel solution to a serious problem, that of the threat of Japanese invasion. So, Warthunder has an Instagram, and it is filled with random community posts, as every social media company has. Posts about new events, new vehicles, new updates, new stuff, new shiny things, the teasers that they put out, dev blog changes and things that they put out. However, if I scroll back up to the top here, we open up the thing and there is comments underneath it. Obviously, regular comments with tags and stuff like that. Watch out for that ammo rack, it does boom. And one of the comments down here was, "Add Bob Semple please." Alright. Add Bob Semple. The Bob Semple goes boom too. Bob Semple, please. And this just goes on. We should boycott Warthunder until the spread of the message to other platforms like Reddit and Twitter. We will win no matter what the sacrifices take. Interesting facts, but do you know the Bob Semple tank? It's kind of missing in the game. And I didn't really realise it at first because I don't really follow Warthunder on their Instagram page at all, if anything. But they've made a response to said vehicle. In fact, here is the response right here. It's posted on Reddit. We will not add the Bob Semple because, frankly, it's useless. Its armour was made out of corrugated metal and main armament were rifle caliber machine guns. 2. It does not have the place in the current meta, even on the lowest reserved tier. 3. It's a meme tank. Only our Instagram users want it because it's being spammed over and over again. 4. There are no sufficient technical specifications available about this tank. It might be a meme tank, but it actually serves an important historical relevance. The fact that it's being spammed only by your Instagram users is a problem that you only have here. However, it's now starting to spill to other parts of the community, and I've said for a while behind closed doors that it'd be a fantastic addition even for a small event vehicle. Now, its armour was made out of corrugated metal. Yes, it was made out of corrugated metal, but it also had armour, 12mm armoured plates behind the armour. So it was really just an external add-on to the armour. So that claim is a little bit bullshit. It does not have a place in the current meta. Well, how about you remove the Horton 229, half of the Russian Air Force tree, a third of the British tank tree, remove a third of the American tanks, remove basically everything that broke down, including all the German tanks, then you tell me if it's really the current meta, alright? Low tier is full of vehicles that shouldn't really be in the game. For example, the Nalberfeuzeug or the Independent. They don't really serve a purpose, yet there are other vehicles like that in the game. If it doesn't fit your meta, you may as well add it to your banned words list like weeb. Alright? Go on, do it. This is a direct challenge, Warthunder. There are loads of unuseful vehicles in the game. For example, the Archer, half of the early tier Japanese tanks up until about rank 2. You know, the claim that it doesn't fit the current meta even on the lowest reserve tier is a bit bonkers in a way. I'm a bit astounded by this response. Will it be useful in War Thunder? No. Will it probably be very good? No. Will it be an absolute meme vehicle? Yes. Why? There are other meme vehicles in the game. The KV-2, the ZSU-57, the L-33, the Italian little tank destroyer tankette thing. I think it really should be considered because if you do add it to the game, maybe you could look back and take a look at some of the interwar vehicles that were developed out of the necessity for the strange political climate. Maybe even go back into World War I like so many players have been asking. Maybe this is the right step instead of going so forward with your advanced technology that people are complaining about the game all the time. Why not step back a little bit and actually make War Thunder a better place? You know, it is a meme tank, I get that. Maybe you should add the 37 to the turret, unlike its prototype trials. Remember, there were 3 of these vehicles built, and none of them received their 37mm cannon. So, do us a favour, and we'll do what you did with the Horton 229. The Horton 229 never had armament, so why don't you give the Bob Semple the armament? If not that, at least make it an event vehicle, or maybe make it as a part of an April Fool's event, or even some form of event that would bring the community together for a good cause. As a result of its unique status with many tank and vehicle enthusiasts, it's a vehicle that is not only unrepresented in history, but also not present in many video games. There are only 2 games that I know of, Men of War Assault Squad 2 and Hearts of Iron 4, that have this vehicle. If Gaijin don't jump at the opportunity, then surely they will regret it. Graphically speaking, it would be an absolute pleasure to see a working 3D model of the Bob Semple in-game that rolls around and fires its machine guns, comically speaking. Even for the meme status that the vehicle may be, it should be remembered for the defence of New Zealand, and the trying times where Australia and New Zealand were in threat from invasion by the Japanese. Anyway guys, my name's Ash, and I'll catch you in the next one.